Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to have a look at the Custell Outcome Manager. And the Custell Outcome Manager is designed to assist teams to achieve outcomes, where you can allocate responsibility or accountability to a team of people to achieve a certain end result. The Outcome Manager will help the team to achieve that result. So first off, we're going to go to the Outcome Manager on the menu here, and from the project list we're going to select a specific project, build a bicycle, and we'll have a look at this project. First off, we're presented with the project page. In this case, it gives us a good deal of information about the project, the goal, the team leader, the team, and when the project is due to be completed. And on the right hand side here, there's some information that will show some of the status of the project. It indicates how many messages, team messages, that I have unread as the person being signed on here has unread. Now there can be many team messages. This will indicate how many unread messages that the signed on person has. And of course the whole program, the whole Custell program is all about collaboration. So these messages are very important for the team to work on to ensure that they're delivering, working together to deliver the outcomes. So I need to read those messages if they're there. It also indicates how many tasks this project has and how many of those tasks are running late. So again, an indicator of how well the project's running. But more specifically for me personally, how many tasks do I have and how many of those are running late? Now in actual fact, I am either responsible or accountable for all the tasks in this project, of which 3 are running late. And then it'll indicate here how many documents this project has related to it that we can go and have a look at. These could be anything from designs to whatever documents are necessary to support the project team in achieving their outcomes. And then further on the home page for this particular project, there are 4 different sections here. First of all, the participating enterprises. Now remember, the Custell program is all about multiple organisations working together to achieve outcomes. And in this case, there's 2 organisations, Techno Services and Telcom, are working on this specific project. And there's a list of team members here. We can drill down and have a look at those team members in more detail. List of members, their role in the team, the organisation they come from, whether it's Techno Services or Telcom in this case. The type of member, core member, is the typical type of member of an operating person in a team, but there's also team leaders and stakeholders. In this case, if we click on all members, it will present the stakeholders that we have. In this case, we've got a handful of stakeholders here. They're people that have a stake in the outcome of the project but aren't actually working on the project. So we give them a view into the project. They can see how it's progressing, but they won't have an active part to play. The date they're added and so on. So if we back to the home page now, we can drill down here and have a look at project discussion threads. And in this case, here's the full discussion thread on the colour of the bike in this particular case. And a whole trail of that, starting with the original discussion that was initiated by Mertha, happens to be the person I'm signed on as at the moment, on this date for this project. Just to the core team. Messages can be controlled as to who sees them. They can be addressed just to the core team, or can include stakeholders, or can be addressed to individuals. And then you've got the discussion thread following in reverse chronological order, so the latest discussion or comment is the first to be read here. And finally, the planned outcomes, the key high-level outcomes required for this particular project. Now, along the top here are a number of project tools. Now, these give you different views into the project. So the first one's the home page where we are at the moment. Secondly is an outcome breakdown. When you first start creating a project, you'll define what all the key outcomes are that you're looking to achieve, and then break down into sub-outcomes and so on. Before you ever think about what are the tasks we need to do to perform these, we need to identify all the outcomes. This function here enables us to create those outcomes and structure the outcomes into a hierarchical structure. and it's got a drag and drop function that allows you to drag and drop outcomes throughout the different areas within the project. And at any stage here we could add an outcome, and it asks us immediately whether the outcome level we want to create this outcome is at the same level as the outcome we clicked on, or do we want to make this a subordinate outcome to this particular outcome, and then provide some information about that outcome. We won't go ahead and do that. We've got a nicely structured project here already. So that's the outcome breakdown, a very powerful tool, particularly in the early stages of a project, to plan a project. The information about the project is held in the project header, and that's simply what is the project, what are the goals, what team is running with this project, what is the objectives, the measurable objectives, the scope, what's in scope, what's out of scope. All that sort of header information is maintained here. So let's have one quick look at that, and here we go. And ultimately you can create a whole host of information. The target dates and start dates are where this is maintained as well. Okay, and then we can let's jump through the Gantt chart. And the Gantt chart will be an area. Then the way it's structured in the Custell application, the Gantt chart is actually where you typically manage your project from. So in this case, this is build a bicycle. The outcomes we're looking at, outcome structure here is in bold, and then unbold is the tasks to achieve those outcomes. So in this case, we've got a design here and two tasks: design the bicycle and prepare a materials and component list. You'll notice here the black bar is the outcome, and the coloured bars are the tasks, and you'll notice a colour scheme here. Green means we've done that much work on that particular task. Pink means we're running late. Now notice on the Gantt chart today's date is listed here, with this red line coming down here. So any task that's not been completed and is to the left of that of today's date is obviously late, and it will indicate pink. The arrows are the dependencies. So in this case, this task here is a predecessor to this successor task, and that's indicated by this arrow going from there to there. Same with this one here. The difference in the color indicates that the successor task is due to start before the predecessor is due to finish. So we've got a scheduling issue here we need to think about and address. And you can see a couple of others like that down through the Gantt chart. This is an active Gantt chart, which means that it's very easy to manage the whole project from the Gantt chart. We can click on any task here, such as this one here. We get a view of what that task is all about. And if we have the authority, and then the project leader and one or two others in the team may have the authority, we can go and edit this particular task. And here we can change people that are accountable for the task. We can change dates. So in this case, we think we can probably get this task done in 2 elapsed days. It's only 1 hour of activity, so I'm going to change that, update that, close it, and you'll notice this particular issue we had here is suddenly no longer an issue. The task here is able to be done, is able to be completed. This one task, subordinate task, is to follow straight after, no longer red. There's a number of other things, of course, you can do on a task. Here we can also update. So if we've done some work on this particular task, we can click update, and we can key in how many hours we've done, how many hours we think are remaining. This will calculate automatically, so that if you'll notice when we change this, these hours will change subject to how many hours were in the original job. And then, of course, if we have the authority, we can delete a task as well. We can also go in and look at the predecessors, and we can also, at this point, add a predecessor. So this says, if we pull this out of the way, we can see that we're on this task here. The predecessor is this particular task here, which is prepare materials and component list. We can, at this stage, add another predecessor if we so wish. And then the project management, or the outcome manager, provides the ability to link different projects together from different teams. So at this stage we could choose another project here and from that project choose a task that this task will be a predecessor to this task we've clicked on here. Or we choose another task on this particular project. We won't go ahead and do this now because we've already set up the predecessors on this project. So as you can see, a very powerful, simple activity, and you'll note we did notice that whenever you make a change in any information on a task or an outcome, this Gantt chart will automatically refresh with that change applied. And so it becomes a very active tool for managing the outcomes of a project. And then the other area is in full project structure. Of course, the Gantt chart is a project structure, but the project structure in this case gives you a detailed look. So we can look, here are the 2 key outcomes, completed bicycle and so on. We can drill down now and have a look at the sub-outcomes and drill down still further in the sub-outcomes of those. So you end up looking at a full structure, and then we can view tasks for any outcome down through the structure. Or if we so wish, we can go expand all, and you'll see the entire project. At this stage, we can also look at or add issues or risks. So in this case, if we click on here and we say the risk is bad design, and we can put in a description, not enough experience in designing bikes. And we say, what would be the impact of a bad design? Well, the bike could collapse. It's a potentially very high impact. What's the chance of it occurring? Well, if we haven't got the skills on board right now, it's probably a fairly high chance of occurring. Who's going to be accountable? I'm going to hold myself accountable at this stage. And what due date do I need to put some sort of mitigation plan in place for this particular risk? So I've selected that. I do not have a strong mitigation plan right now, so if I click update to that, and you'll notice a red flag has been added against this particular outcome here, and if I click on that, it will display the details of that particular issue. So now we've introduced the concept of managing either risks or issues. I should have pointed out, I should have pointed out that this particular issue, I'll edit it, it is a risk. We can have it either as an issue or a risk. Essentially, we believe an issue or a risk is essentially the same thing. The difference between an issue and a risk is that an issue has already occurred and we need to address it now, or we're in the process of addressing it, whereas a risk is a potential issue out into the future that we need to think about now and have some sort of mitigation plan in place. So the system will then red flag or green or amber flag those subject to the criticality of that particular issue or risk, and therefore you'll be able to manage those. So that's essentially is the outcome management in the Custell program. Very powerful, very strong ability in managing both within a particular team to achieve an outcome, and also cross teams through the dependencies built across the teams we were talking about before here with these. We'll now suggest you spend a little bit of time looking through the manual on this, and then putting your own teams, own projects in place and managing it through to fruition. Thank you. We'll go shortly encourage you to go on and look at further videos on the Custell Cloud program.